Good evening, afternoon, or night, AXOLOTS. Please don't mind the dark surroundings. We are getting into the Halloween mood, and I noticed that my camera quality actually looks better when it's dark. Crazy, right? Your fun fact of the day is that did you know prior to the year 1800, 43% of people died before they reached the age of 5? Fun! So I don't really have a script for this video. With this video, it's just kind of been something I wanted to do ever since I graduated high school. I wrote down a list of all the absolutely insane stuff that happened there. I had 1 cup of coffee, 1 Ritalin, and we're just gonna ball. So I'm not going to name this high school, and I'm also going to hide it from the comments because I don't really want to deal with that. Did I have fun times at this high school? Yeah, I met some of the best friends I've ever met there, and we still keep in touch. Was I a fan of the lot of things happening in there? No, I wasn't. So I don't know if it's correct to call it a prestigious high school. That's kind of like the direct translation to what it's called in Malay, which is like Sekolah Cemerlang or something. And basically, it was really well known for having smart students, I guess. I remember we would have this major exam before going into high school during elementary school called UPSR. And the school was notorious back then for only accepting students that had at least 6 out of 8 or 7 A's and above. And I managed to get 7 A's. Speaking of high school education segue, this video is sponsored by Free Cash. So if you're a student or anyone really who's looking for an easy way to get a little bit of extra money, Free Cash is the place for you. If you're unaware, Free Cash is an online platform where anyone from anywhere can sign up for free and make money by playing mobile games. Stuck in traffic, marinating on the bedroom floor after crying the whole night? Why not spend that time with Free Cash? It has a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, so you know they've got your back. Simply choose your favorite game. I chose this one called Dice Dreams because the little orange guys look very edible. Turn on the app tracking and start playing.
Okay, this looks relatively easy to get. Okay, got a card. Alright. What? Huh? What? Becky? Who the hell is... Okay. I guess we have to attack her? I'm just gonna get her! Get her!
I managed to make $50 so far by playing this game. Very cool. You can also make some in-app purchases to speed up your progress and get cash back later on. After receiving your goods, just cash out the amount using PayPal and boom! Now I can fund my addiction for blind boxes. Thank you very much, Free Cash. If you're interested, use the link in my description and you can get a $5 bonus on your first offer. Keep in mind that the interface may look different depending on your country, but you're getting free cash either way. Get it? Free cash. You get it?
Oh, I'm so ready for this. Come on, Becky, show me what you got. Paul? No!
Thanks again to Free Cash for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to the train wreck. Who's ready to get messy? Yeah! So first things first about this high school. And these are just things that shocked my friends in my new high school when I transferred to Vietnam. The one thing that shocked them the most was how short my hair was. And if you watch some of my old videos, you might have known this. But this prestigious high school I went to demanded that we cut our hair short. So girls had to get their hair cut like fucking Dora. It was Dora Corin there. And boys might have had it worse because they had to straight up shave their whole head. We had fucking US military and then we had Dora. And it wasn't just oh, cut it so that it looks neat. It wasn't just that. They would check. So every once a week in the morning, we would all be at the assembly and then they'd choose some random classes to stay back. And then they would make the discipline teachers come over with fucking rulers to measure our hair. So the maximum limit it could be was 3 centimeters under your earlobe. And as for the guys with their military cuts, the teachers would put their fingers on their heads. And if ooh, my bald. And if your hair poked out in between the creases, you were gone. You were gone. So it was to the point where some students would be checking who the discipline teacher coming was, and they would freaking hope that the teachers had fat fingers so that they could get away with it more. For us, they prepared a piece of paper that was already measured to be 3 centimeters and they would do this. And it wasn't just that though. I wish at the time they would let me cut my hair like this. But there's the thing, they wouldn't. You had to have Dora cut. You couldn't even cut it this short because that was considered stylish. But yeah, they would also test our bangs. So our bangs had to be above the eyebrows. And you think that's reasonable, but they would check it by pressing your bangs down. So when it went up, it would It'll be this. And listen, microbanks weren't a thing, okay? It wasn't trendy back then in Malaysia. I was 13 years old. I looked like Edna from The Incredibles. And I remember my worst experience. I've said it in the video. I'll say it again. It's a good story. The discipline teacher came, pressed my hair down like this to check. I was like, what's wrong? Is it too long? Because I know that she was hesitating. And she was like, oh no, but if you leave your bangs like that, you're gonna get a lot of acne up there. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And then they also do random spot checks of our bags. You know, they just like flip it over and then like go through your stuff to see if you brought anything illegal. And things like phones, makeup, of course, is like not allowed. And I think this is pretty common in other schools as well. But we also weren't allowed to bring like novels or storybooks. Like, can't fucking read in here. I remember my friend got like a postcard that a friend gifted to her, confiscated, because I don't know, they were worried you'd start posting letters in the middle of class. I don't know, man. And you thought the hair rule was crazy? They hired barbers. Like, if your hair was too long, okay, this was the consequence. You would go up, sign your name, and you would get a demerit. And if you got more than 9 demerits, your parents would be called in. And if you didn't want a demerit, guess what? How very kind of the school, because they went ahead and hired barbers for you. So there would just be barbers in the front of the assembly and they would cut your hair for you in front of everyone and you'd have to pay 10 ringgit for that. And then they would cut it really badly. Apparently it was super ugly. Like, I understand you want order. Actually, I don't. It's hair. But like, how does the length of our hair impact our ability to study? I don't get it. I just don't. Like, you're telling me that if my hair was 4 centimeters under my earlobe, suddenly my brain would fall out of my ears and I wouldn't be able to answer the test question? No. You're telling me that if my bangs covered my eyebrows, suddenly I would be blind to the blackboard and fail all my exams? No. I failed them even with that hair. My defense, the mark to pass was 60%. I got 59 most of the time. I graduated my new high school with like A stars and A's, okay, full A's, and I got a scholarship, okay, so don't judge me on this. I have the right to speak! Hair thing aside, what's next on my list? Okay, yeah. So I don't know if this is normal for other schools, but sometimes the teachers come in and they start screaming for the entire hour. They'd start yelling at us. And it wouldn't be like rare. It would be happening a few times each week. Like sometimes I see the next class coming, I'm like, oh, it's a boring class, you know, it's an hour long. But then I'd be like, wait, the teacher might go ballistic. And then suddenly, it's a movie premiere. One time this teacher that we were all actually pretty chill with, I don't know what happened. He brought like a mini microphone so that he could just like teach the class without straining his voice. And the kid like touched it, I guess it didn't break. She just touched it. And he went crying. He yelled so much to the point where his voice was like breaking and he was coughing, like hacking in the middle of yelling, and then he would resume hacking after one sip of water and then just yell for like 60 minutes about how undisciplined, how rude we all were, and how we were wasting his time and we were wasting our own time. And I didn't expect this from students of this school. And not just him, like multiple other teachers, some of them went like the monotone, like public speaking route. I'm so disappointed, guys. Like, you realize that you're not just wasting my time, you're not just wasting your own time, you can't keep wasting our time. We can't get through our course materials when you keep wasting our time. And then they proceed to waste the time by going on like that for an hour. When the teachers would leave their classroom after yelling, it was so loud that other teachers from the neighboring classrooms would come over, like peek into the window like, what happened? What did you guys do? Like, I don't, hell if I know, I was just sitting there. But how is it allowed for you to waste my time? Because there's 2 students talking when I was quiet. Like, I had to teach myself so much of the material because all I learned from those classes was basically drama theater. Moving on. So we had this program for a while where during assemblies, they would get like teachers to come up in front of everyone and give a story. And sometimes it was inspiring actually. Sometimes it was about their childhood or how they overcame a difficulty or like some story they read on Facebook they wanted to share. Well, one time, they got this guy to come up. I've never seen this teacher in my life, but I know that he's from the school. He gets up there, he takes the microphone, and he just straight up goes, LGBT ialah penyakit. At the time, okay, I knew I was bisexual. That was as much as I knew about my Skittle squad flavors. And I had just figured that out for myself. So hearing that was not fun. And he would keep going. And here's the thing, okay, I don't care if you're homophobic. Actually, I care. Get out of here. This is not a religious school, by the way. I know like a lot of religious schools in Malaysia, they would have these speeches and it'd be like, I guess normal, you know, for them to talk about don't be gay. But here, no, like he had no grounds to be doing all this. So he just went on and he was like, being a gay is bad for you. It is an illness because you will contract AIDS and you will die. I wish I was exaggerating, but I was just sitting there like, what is he talking about? I'm not literally looking over to the teachers like I'm in the office. I was like, and they were looking to the ground like they were uncomfortable with this too, but they didn't stop him, so he just kept going. And then, don't worry guys, he's teaching us moral lessons here. So he's like, if you meet a gay person, don't bully them because they're just victims too. Help change them. Fucker was promoting conversion therapy to 13-year-olds. Yeah, that was fun. That was great. It was especially great because around that time we were having a program that promoted acceptance and love for all too. Great! And I have like so much spite for this because every time we did anything they didn't like, they would be like, did you really get into a prestigious school just to get all this? Like, they would start like the ego of this school was crazy. The headmasters, they would just be like, you know, we're not like other schools, okay? We're a prestigious school. I don't expect this behavior from students from a prestigious school. What? There is one student that made high school almost a hell for me. And I'm also petty at the school for this guy, okay? So wait, hear me out. I'll just call him Dick Face. No, that's not allowed on YouTube. I'll call him Richard, okay? And Richard was a dick face. He was so evil. Like, I know it's crazy calling like a 13, 14-year-old that, but genuinely one of the most malicious, scariest guy that I've met. I had the same classes as him when I was 14 and he would just make it horrible. He would taunt the teachers, which just caused them to yell even more for like an hour straight, you know? So he's kind of at fault for that too. And not just that, I remember there was a kid in our school and looking back at it, it was pretty clear that the kid was neurodivergent in a way, maybe autism. As someone who's also neurodivergent, like I could tell, and I always tried to be nice to him. So it really ticked me off when Richard would be non-stop bullying him. What's it called? The clawy thingy when you're sweeping, you know? And he would just like hit the kid with it, which prompted the kid to hit him back, you know, with another broom thing. And then the teachers would come and punish the actual victim. And then when we told her, okay, like, he started hitting him first, they'd be like, no, you see, we can't return that energy. When something like this happens, you have to calm down and ask for help from a teacher. What are you talking about? Like, this kid, he's clearly bullying a kid that has autism. And you're telling the autistic kid that he should have been calm and waited for a teacher to help? Are you insane? One time, like, some situation kind of exploded in our classroom to the point where the headmaster of discipline had to come to our class to check on it. We had a teacher that was pregnant at the time. And Richard basically told the teacher that he hopes that she falls down the stairs and has a miscarriage and that he would be the one who pushed her down the stairs. That's insane, is it not? Richard got called into like the teacher's office and the discipline teacher came to our class to be like, okay, tell me what your issues with Richard is. So we told him what he said to that teacher. We told him that he's always just been really annoying. He bullies students all the time. He makes a lot of girls uncomfortable. And then our teacher said, okay, like I understand you guys don't really like him, but you need to understand, he has a really high IQ, but a lower EQ in comparison. So I wish you guys could be more forgiving and nicer to him. You're joking. You're joking. This is just allegations. This is just assumptions. But Richard was also from a really rich family. From what I heard, from the grapevine, he would donate money to the school. So, any guesses as to why he got off so easily? But yeah, that was real shitty of like the headmaster to do. I fought with him once because he called a girl a bitch and I was like, hey, you can't call women that! So we started yelling back and forth and then I got scolded by the teacher for being argumentative. Hello! I don't regret anything though, fuck that guy. And here are some stuff that happened after I left the school and I heard after I graduated from my friends that were still there. And again, all allegations! All allegations! I cannot confirm anything. This is what I've heard from sources that were actually there. Again, not gonna name the high school, but we did have like a video of it that went kinda viral a while back of a new headmaster shaming students. So there was student choir performing for like some ceremony, maybe like a graduation, I don't know. But after they were done, the new principal took a microphone, went in front of all these students and all their parents to just start shaming them for their performance. Ooh, that was like, you know, let's be better next time. You know, that's not really good. dude, read the room. And then he also said some kind of racist stuff. He was like, this is a Chinese school, okay? Why are we singing songs in Malay? Maybe it's cause we're in Malaysia, bro. And then there was also another allegation. He was unhappy with the rule that girls had to cut their hair so short. And at first, when I heard that, I was like, okay, great. Like, I think it's a stupid rule too. But then, as it turns out, the reason he wants to dismantle this rule for hair is because he thinks long hair looks prettier on girls. It would make them nicer to look at. This is a high school full of 13 to 17-year-old kids. He's concerned about the haircut rule because he thinks it makes these 13, 17-year-old girls less attractive to him. And there's a word for that. Starts with a P, rhymes with a Lego. I went back to this high school a while back when I had my pink hair because I wanted to visit my friends during their graduation. And I asked the guard there, am I allowed to go in? And he said, sure, go ahead. And he gave me like a pass and everything. So I went there. I waited outside, of course, for them to be finished. I waited at the side. And keep in mind, like, I bumped into like a lot of teachers on the way. They had no issues with me being there. They were very friendly. This teacher came out with like a bunch of like fancy people behind her, I don't know, sponsors of the school or something. She looked at me, she rushed to me, and she started yelling at me. And keep in mind, at that point, she doesn't even know I'm a student or anything. She's just like, why are you here? Who are you? What are you doing here? I explained to her calmly that I was an ex-student. I'm just here to visit because I was given permission and I just wanted to give some gifts. And then she started yelling at me more about my hair. She started insulting my hair. She was like, but your hair, your hair. What the hell does that have anything to do with? She was like, you have to leave your hair. I kept repeating to her, I'm not your student anymore. Like, I'm not your student. You can't get on my ass about my hair. And she was like, yeah, but your hair, like, change it lah. Change your hair. Girl, girl what? Turns out it seems like they were mad because they weren't allowed to actually have a graduation ceremony because of like the restrictions at the time due to the pandemic, but they still carried on with it. So seeing an outsider there freaked them out because they thought I was gonna post it online and make it like viral, and the school had like a hit to its reputation. Fun time! I was leaving immediately and I got kind of lost because they built like a new building and I wasn't sure where the way to get out was. Apparently I had to use the lift that was hidden in another door, but I was headed to the stairs because I was like, okay, stairs, go down, go up. And as I was headed there, two teachers stopped me and they were like, hey, you're supposed to be leaving. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to the stairs to leave. And they were like, you're not, so you can't leave from there. Okay, like I didn't know that. I haven't been here. And they were like, yeah, right, you didn't know. My blood was boiling, by the way. Like, who are you? Why do you immediately think I'm lying? Clearly, I wasn't here when this building was built. I've explained that. Clearly, I was heading out because I don't even know what those stairs do. But yeah, that's about it about my high school. I've wanted to complain about it for a while. It was a source of many insecurities. Most of my friends that graduated from that high school has this lingering anxiety and loss of their sense of self, basically, due to it because they were never allowed to express themselves or be themselves, and it was always like a competition. Everyone had the same hairstyle, right? Everyone had the same uniform. Kids would just find other reasons to judge you, and then it was really bad. It was a really toxic environment. But I'm free of that now. I got to go to another place when I was 15. It had its problems too, but it was definitely a much more welcoming and comfortable school environment than this one. So I'm very lucky to get the opportunity. Thank you for listening to Unscripted Tea Time with Faline San. If you are from my old high school, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. Congrats on surviving. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye! Mwah, don't sue me.